I don't have to tell you, I'm pretty pleased with the way, things have turned out. Obviously, I could have used a couple more votes on the ultrasound amendment, but by and large, I think it's a pretty good day for the people of Virginia. The budget that we passed, I think, is better than it was a few weeks ago. And I want to emphasize that it's better because of the bipartisan collaboration between both the Democrats and the Republicans in the state Senate. And I can't emphasize that enough. We got more money in there for public schools and more money in there for health and human services. And so, like I said, I think people of the state, citizens of the state, are a lot better off. I would hope that the House would accept this. I've had some people in the House privately tell me they thought we had, and I'm talking about Republicans, that they thought we had a better budget, particularly because of the K-12 aspect and funding health and human services. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming here and again express a wish that the House would accept what we did. We also, by the way, from a transportation standpoint, made the bill a lot better, both with additional funds that will help mitigate some of the tolls down in the Tidewater area, as well as the additional money that would be as a result of expanding the bonds authorized by 3202 in 2007, expanding that capacity to help fund the transportation system in Northern Virginia, and more specifically the Dulles Toll Road and Metro and the rail to Dulles. So anyways, the next speaker I'd like to introduce is Senator Janet Allen.
Thank you. I also want to thank particularly Senator Stosh for his leadership through the last couple of weeks. In my opinion, we are moving back closer than ever to what we have always had in the Senate, which is a moderate bipartisan approach to the budget. They were very receptive to our suggestions. I think as you go through the budget, you'll see virtually everything was included. That's a very significant improvement. Especially important, I think, is public education. That has been our priority all along, and there is considerable improvement on that. And for my region, the cost of competing is important, and that's in there. Also, near and dear to our hearts as Democrats are health and human services, and we've made a lot of improvements there. A special importance to Senator Herring, Senator Favola, and me is the additional $300 million for Phase 2 of Rail to Dulles. That's at a critical juncture right now, and this money is really important on a number of levels. It's my hope that the House will look at our budget and adopt it quickly, and that the governor will sign it. Thanks. And I guess next is Senator McEachin.
Good afternoon. I know you all like to phrase things in terms of partisan wins and losses, but really today is a day for Virginians. Virginians won today. They won because, as Senator Sasslaw said, we got a better budget for our school children. As Senator Howell said, we've got a better budget for human services. We helped with the foreclosure crisis by putting $10 million into the Housing Trust Fund. We've helped with teen pregnancy. All in all, it was a good day for Virginians. I too want to echo the sentiments of both Senator Howell and Senator Sasslaw by thanking our Republican colleagues for sitting down at the table with us and working through these various amendments. I think the Senate budget, as is its custom, is the better budget, and I would hope that it will be adopted quickly and sent on to the governor. And now we'd be happy to take any questions that y'all have. Julie.
This is probably a Janet question. Given the defeat of the ultrasound funding amendment, is that something that you would anticipate trying to bring back up in the conference process, or is that DOA at this point?
I believe, regretfully, we lost that battle today. So I do not see it coming up more.
There have been talk that if that amendment didn't go through, that we could see another, or close to a repeat of what we had seen in previous budget stalemates, 35-4 today. You guys explain the fevered pitch with which this amendment was being lobbied 4 days ago, and the 35-4 vote today to pass the budget.
Well,
Without-
we fought for that budget amendment with every fiber of our being, but we are the elected leadership of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and at some point you have to compromise. And so what you saw us do today was compromise. We got 99% of the things that we went to the mat for. Regrettably, this is a very important thing that we didn't get, but again, we got most of what we needed, and the people of Virginia are going to have to decide who is right in this debate. And then, they're gonna have an election in November, they're gonna have an election in November 13. I don't think you'll hear this issue go away.
Speaking of votes against the budget, Senator Puckett, you voted against the budget. Can you tell us why?
I'm not really too happy about the VRS piece, and I'm not happy about the $25 million amount that's going to private schools across the Commonwealth. You've heard my colleagues talk about it's a better budget than we started with, and I would certainly agree with that, but I think we're going down the wrong road when we start putting public money into private schools. And the VRS piece is one that, even though it's not in the budget, if you notice there's budget language that says, we're heading this way, and whatever it takes to get there, the budget language said we can get there. But it really shifts the burden to localities, and it's something that's going to be very difficult for the people, really all over the Commonwealth and local government, particularly people in the Southwest. It's a struggle many times for us to make budgets work, and so that's the reason I took the position I did.
Senator Howell, the Speaker of the House said that there isn't really any appetite at all for more than $150 million that the state is going to put in for Dulles Rail. As a conferee, have you discussed this with him? Obviously, he is not a fan of the project overall.
No,
where do you see that going?
I have not discussed it with Speaker Howell, no relative, but in relation. But I think it will be a topic in budget negotiations and in conference. I am quite determined that we must have this money. There has been money spread all over the Commonwealth over the last few years, and Northern Virginia desperately needs this project. It is of local, regional, and state importance. It is causing great hardship on the people in the corridor who are paying outrageously high tolls, and so this money is needed. We will see in conference what happens, but I know those of us involved are determined to have funding for phase 2.
Let me just add something. If you take a look at the list of the projects that the governor lined up, to spend money on, with the, advancing the money from the back end of 3202 bonds, accelerating it up front. The Northern Virginia Transportation District was going to get 6.9% of the money. And what's interesting is that we're about 30-some% of the sales tax revenue that the state generates. Probably even a way higher percentage of the income tax, and about 30-some% of the gas tax. And yet we were only going to get 6.9% for the Northern Virginia Transportation District of the projects. This, quite frankly, is more of an equalizer than anything else. It's not like it's a money grab by Northern Virginia. I mean, I've been here for 37 years, and quite frankly, we do a lot of funding in this state. And we haven't gotten an awful lot back. You all were there covering what happened on the floor today. I've been here, as I said, 37 years. I have never once ever heard anybody say, let's vote for this bill because it'll help poor Fairfax out. Okay? Never once. I mean, everybody's got a hard luck story, but we're the ones with the traffic jam, and we're the ones paying for the state. And to me, quite frankly, this is a drop in the bucket compared to what we've sent here.
Sticking on toll mitigation for a moment, Senator Howell, you just asked about the Dulles project. But how vigorously do you anticipate fighting for the Midtown downtown language as well? Certainly Senator Miller has been vocal throughout the regular session about the impact and the burden of those tolls on local people in Southampton roads. Senator Norman, I know you can't speak for him, but I mean, he made it clear that that provision is not something that he's keen on, and he will be part of the conference process. So how much will you be fighting for that?
I think the rest of us are going to fight hard for it, and we have the statement by the chairman, Senator Stosh, that he will be fighting hard for the whole Senate budget.
So on that topic, Senator, what do you see as, beyond the tolls, what do you see as the primary issues that will be between the Senate and the House in terms of the conferee process? What are the things you guys are going in there?
Surprisingly, this will be my 5th year as a conferee, and the budgets are closer than they have been ever before. So I am hopeful that we can resolve these issues rather expeditiously. But there are some we're not prepared to compromise very much on. Some not at all on.
And I don't suppose you're going to share those with us?
No.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right.